Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United.
Remember the comment he made?
I thought they got from varsity.
Run Ryan.
And the other thing, you have players out there.
I think the fellas are taking more serious.
What grade?
That one had to go.
Yes, because at the end of the day, right now, Manchester United are
Welcome everyone and welcome back to All In, All United. Chef and Simeon, when he sort out his his stuff here, we back after international break, and before we get into the Man United things, I thought it would be fitting, to talk a little bit about another Trinidad football by Chef.
Boy.
We didn't qualify, but if I'm honest with you, I really do think, and me and Kristen was talking a lot about it, and I think me and you too, Chef. I find from where Trinidad football was, this final leg in the qualifying campaign, in terms of the kind of football we play, I was pleased in. The problem with Trinidad football, or with what was going on in that last round, was really we finishing with chances. We were creating chances.
Remind me of a certain team. No, but I agree with you 1000%, bro. Big to big dog, and people was calling me negative Nancy and kind of shit that I don't really care. But I did not expect to qualify, even though the route seemed. Remember, we spoke about this, Karim, at the start. But unlike plenty people, we does actually follow football properly. So we not just go and see Curacao and say, hey, we go and beat them. We know better than that. We know Curacao team is made up of players, nearly all of them playing in Holland and in other European leagues.
And our top manager too?
Say that?
Our top manager too?
And they've been having top managers. And not only that too, they've been building a program that, if we be real, Trinidad had to look to emulate. So, just as you said, bro, for me, my thing was always to see progression under York, and then give him a full cycle to change where the team going. Bro, I don't say, yeah, but now we had to face America and Canada and Mexico, and I say, so what? We make a World Cup already, having to face them teams and them. So yeah, it's go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, and I think if we were to maintain the trajectory that the team on right now. Now we know, as you're gonna remind me the other day, we could Jack Ace the thing, right? But if we don't do that and we could really maintain the trajectory that this team on, because we have a very young team. Last time we qualified for the World Cup, we were one of the oldest teams. So you can tell that team didn't have a future after 2006, right? And when we were expecting the TTFA or TTFF at that point in time to use that to go back to the different age groups and start to build back for the next World Cup, everything fall flat. But this group of players that we have here is a young team. Right?
Very young team.
So I am thinking, if we were to continue in this vein and not see it as this short-termism, we say, well, hey, okay, we're not going to the World Cup this year, 2030 is the next one, right? And then we work on these next 4 or 5 years toward that. Then I feel we can, whether it's the States, whether it's Brazil, whoever, I think we would make a good representation of ourselves, and I think we could qualify.
Yeah, the next World Cup to them might make it even bigger. I think they want to make it 2 months of football instead of one.
We know FIFA only have money making, so
yeah, it's true.
That's just ridiculous. But yeah, no, yeah, Kareem, I agree, and the thing is, Dan, here's why I want them keep York. Well, I don't even think it's up to them to keep York. Nice if York want to stay.
I think York want to stay. It's up to them. If they
Yeah,
can afford the money.
because dog, you need York is the face of Trinidad football. If we're being honest, biggest player to ever come out of the country, and you can't help but respect the man.
Correct.
It shows that look at the kind of players this man started to pull to that want not just scraping but want to actually come and represent the team. And for me, it's not just seasoned players. He pulling young players. He pulling players who now pushing on in the professional career. And really and truly, that's the kind of program you want to build. Not only that, Trinidad football is not just about the senior team. You have to build it. Have a lot, much like the institution we support. There's a lot of things wrong with Trinidad football. So it would take us not it's not the solution and just to pull men who are parentage to come and think. No, you want continuity, you want future. So it starts from primary school, go up. It's done.
It's out of a pathway. It's out of a pathway. Yeah.
It's hard.
No, but I think they need to do better in the school football because, like, when you look at school football, right, the top players, you just know them, and then you never see these players making the national team. You don't even hear about them afterwards. So, the secondary school football really do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been like that forever. There's a lot of things, and it's even before that. I'm sure most of you all would have seen the little short clip. The guy, a fella Trinidadian who wanted to play in Europe, did, and he basically talked about when he reached was it Hungary, some of them Scandinavian countries, and them to play. He automatically realized how behind in everything, and he considered himself at top fitness, at top. But no, what our standard and what he thought is top is not even basic. It's below basic. It's below par. So there's a lot of things done. There's a lot of things to be done. Trinidad have more stadiums, have more savannas than most of the countries and them in the world. Watch at the state of our football places done. Watch at the state of our facilities. Watch at the state of all them. Let me just look at the recent as the only one that did for the under-20 World Cup. Watch the state of these things. So that is a real holistic approach we have to take and be serious and not just be about grabbing and trying to look good. It can't be about self. And I will say this, and I don't care who offended. You see, if you're over 55, I don't want nothing. I find you should have nothing to do with Trinidad football. Because you see all them set of old ass and them who are around Trinidad football forever and did nothing, like Alvin Cornell, Anton Cornell, and all them set of imps. Dread, all you had all the time, what all you do? Nothing. Bye. And let we move on from that.
But it's a point that you make, and I know Simeon, you're coming just now, right? But it's a point that you make that I really want to just kind of drive in as well. Because we can't, yes, we glad that, we have the new grandparents law in place now. Right? But we have to lift the floor. We lift in the ceiling by going for these fellas who are exposed to the football on an international stage. So they play in Europe, they play in all the different leagues. But we had to raise the floor by looking internally and trying to fix our grassroots here. You understand what I'm saying? Because the more players we could get coming, the more products we could get coming out of the country to play in Europe is the better for us. Right? Because I remember York was talking in one of the press conferences, and he was trying to make it, he was trying to how to put it, how to not be as brutally honest as possible. But when you read into what he was saying, he was talking about the level of football here is so low.
It
But when
is.
he bring them fellas from the local leagues into the national setup to train, and he see the levels that them fellas at, and he know the levels that required to play international football outside. He said it's too far. And I will draw an example for you. We can't be so heavily dependent on the foreign base because we'll find ourselves in a situation like Jamaica because
Of
Jamaica had
course.
that grandparent law. How long now? And
Yep.
since 1998. And they came into this campaign with one of the best teams, the most resources. They never win a Gold Cup. They never even reached the semi-finals of a Gold Cup. And now they didn't automatically qualify for the World Cup. And when you look at the team, it comprises of majority of foreign base, but it have no chemistry, nothing
None.
in that team when you look at
None.
it.
None, dog. If we being serious, watch every one of the games Jamaica won was either a momentary lapse by the opposition or some individual excellence. Jamaica showed absolutely no cohesion, no kind of gelling. I
It
was
was
like,
horrible. It was horrible.
they
The
were
kind of players them
horrible.
had, that was horrible. But I was say too, the way how them was horrible, it just make us losing just one game and not even getting a playoff spot was real hard
Yeah,
because
make it harder to take. Yeah. Let me just
I when you
Simeon
look
have a
at it,
point to make.
everybody thought Jamaica would have be the team to give me trouble, and Curacao went running both games. We were better than Curacao. We just
To
didn't
be,
take the chance.
to, to be honest, not really. I and Reem had talked at the start of the campaign, and both of us had said Curacao was going to tell Reem. We had said Curacao
Yeah.
was going to
We said,
top the group,
don't
and
want to explain
everybody
them.
else was going
Yeah.
to fight up. We said
We
it
said don't want to explain them.
again.
But one player I was disappointed is Levi Garcia, man. I find he playing in Europe and he really threw it. That chance in 6 yards our team is against Jamaica. You can't be a international footballer and missing that.
I don't want to. Men, let's get vexed when I talk about Levi. So let
For
me.
me, Levi had to be playing here. You see, he and Silly, the mother fights up for our right side, but we had a guy
Yeah,
number 9. We had a guy 9
yeah.
because Levi ain't. But let me just get Simeon thoughts on what we're talking about.
No, I mean, I up here in the States, I really didn't really see a lot of the qualifying, to be honest. I've been trying to get Kareem, taking how things going, how the team looking, and, I'm not surprised they didn't qualify. Well, honestly, I'm not surprised, but, the levels they were at before, I know it's going to be a struggle even with this lower competition. But, like, it gets to a point where you look at some of these teams, like, I talked to Kareem about Haiti. Some of these teams have like outside organizations that come in and they help the, development of, the federation, the national team, you see it in a number of sports, you know, we can't get out for Trinidad,
No, Trinidad, that,
they have that.
Yeah,
They working
Trinidad.
well.
You're talking about a stabilization
FIFA,
committee.
yeah.
Trinidad was under that for a couple of years, They couldn't
Well,
make no moves,
well, let
But
me,
Chef, that was more for the administrative compliance as
yeah.
opposed to what Simeon talking about in terms of
Yeah.
developmental and thing,
Yeah, but to make the transition, another team that need that, Manchester United. I need FIFA to come in with a stabilization team and be like, hey, y'all too big, for this kind of nonsense, this kind of thing. Because I mean, nah, you're laughing. I think this team.
You know who that stabilization committee should be? You see all of them who had them podcasts and them and then be talking, all them former players and them should make up that committee. Especially this
Nah,
big shit snake like Gary Neville, who have one set of talks.
nah, because I mean, honestly, after we come to talk about the game, I won't lie to you. After a goal score, I turn the game off. I turned the game off. I was done. I was done with this team. I was done. I say I was done. I was done 3 times. I tell Kareem I'm done. I'm done. I went back to work. I tell him I'm done at halftime. I say I come back here. I look at your score. I say I'm done. And at full time, I look at your score. And the third time I'm done. And this time, because I still can't believe we lost that game. I
Oh,
I don't hold this team to a high standard. But what happened yesterday? Just to I mean we breaking records now. I mean we to the point that we thought we were bad, but we trying to So I mean yeah we need something. We need intervention somewhere because this is nah.
Watch
Not gonna
that. One of
happen.
my partner, we play in Liverpool May the 2nd next year, right? And they said that might be a relegation battle match, you know.
but that was a good segue, Sidian, for we to actually kind of redirect. But again, I just wanted to really I wanted to take the time to really commend the national team and the performance in the playoff campaign. I thought we performed well. It's real unfortunate that we didn't get the wins. We were not clinical enough to take advantage of the dominance that the team played with. Eric on the inside, good night to you. He said York in, but I felt he went too defensive at home. I'm not sure that I agree with that. I'm not sure. I thought we'd play all over Jamaica in that
all
final
over
game.
Curacao.
Yeah, we played
In
all
two
over.
Yeah,
legs.
them two
In
like
two
kind of
legs.
curious. I'm just to win. Jamaica.
So, which game in this final round did we not play good? That we were not the better team.
The
But what was the result of the Bermuda game though? Because I see
Jamaican
we
leg.
draw.
Yeah, we drew that game 2-all.
How?
Yeah, we drew that game 2-all.
How you mean
But
how?
how?
Did it score? Did it score?
But I didn't see nobody kick off and then them
The
start the game by a goal kick.
camera didn't show you.
You was in the stadium?
Nah, it was in stadium. I was in
Then
stadium.
that's your backside. The kick one from the center.
But on the score two, when you watching home,
You depend. No, I tell you, that was such a catastrophe, and you
Yeah,
can't
that
even
was-
say it was
that was failure.
it's just Trinidad because the FIFA everybody dropped the ball on that.
Yeah, that was failure. That was real failure. And
You in the
whoever
stadium, many in the stadium and didn't know.
Yeah, that was real failure. But the goal counted, so we draw 2-all. But that game, for me, the drop in that, Christian, was because York changed the team.
yeah, for sure.
But if we had beaten Jamaica, that stadium would have been rampack, right?
Of course.
And we would have.
I tell you, men was telling me, bro, it's because it's a Tuesday night. I said, Pali, if that was the game for Trinidad to qualify for the World Cup,
Or even
that
playoffs.
game, or even to make playoffs, by that stadium would have been ram out.
Yeah, see, tickets went down from what? How much? 300 for one, for 300 for two?
Yeah, two for one.
Yeah.
And personally, it was not a cool move what TTF did when they just, for the last couple of games, they just raised the price of tickets. That wasn't cool. People were saying, just 100. Dog, it's how people just carry their entire family to football.
I just carry my family.
That was not a cool move at all. And them is the kind of things that turn off people.
Yeah. When I saw that price and I considered how much I would have to pay to carry my family, I was like, nah, boy, nah.
Yeah.
Honestly, the playoff teams, even if we get the playoff, at one of the teams the other place, DR Congo, or you get Iraq, Iran, I think, but we could Iran was if we get Iran, if we didn't make that playoff.
And Jamaica had to play DR Congo, like with Wan-Bissaka and them.
No, they had to play North, some kind of Caledonia. Yeah, and when if they win that, then they had to play DR Congo. Which
Jamaica been shit, so I don't expect Jamaica to go nowhere. And I hope Suriname make it over Jamaica. I don't want Jamaica make no World Cup.
Yeah, not Jamaica.
I just saying what Trinidadians like afraid to say we supporting Jamaica. No, we not. Let's Suriname go through.
When me and Remo was talking, I thought like you could have end up playing European teams are in that playoffs. So I didn't know.
No, never.
You want You want European? No, God.
Yeah,
Italy.
I didn't mind playing at San Marino, you know, chef. I didn't mind playing San Marino.
Nah, you gotta play Italy, man. Gotta play
Yeah,
Italy.
yeah. Eric said,
My
yeah,
God,
Curacao and
yeah.
Jamaica. First half, we were pragmatic for must wins. The first, yeah. I agree with that.
It was cagey. It was like
Yeah.
if man was afraid to go for the win.
But I thought
And
the
we were still
first
better.
game. Yeah, we were still better. But that first game
That-
is all that we done, yeah? That first game
But
against Curacao in
that
Music Hall.
that Curacao team real clinical though. I watched that side. One chance them
No,
had
the
again them
clinical.
point no.
The
One
clinical.
chance them had again.
But you see that what Reem just said. See that first game against Curacao, we were supposed to blitz Curacao. Oh my God, we showed that game.
all kind of thing.
We fought about 3 times.
We how do I say we unscored so much goals in that game, man.
Yeah, boy. But for Curacao, I'll tell you something. When you watch how their campaign went, you know, back in 2005 when we were trying to play to qualify, you know, the stars were just aligning. Everything was just happening for Curacao, boy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It was for them. It was for them. That's just
It
how I
was.
see
No,
it.
I can't. Listen, I have some of my families is Curacao, live in Curacao, though. I happy for them, Jen. I can't even. I was real happy when they beat Jamaica because that was like a national holiday for them. I see that and that just remind me when we did beat Bahrain.
Yeah. Nah, man. I'm glad for them.
Yeah. I over glad for them. Sorry, I'm not celebrating Jamaica. I'm sorry. If all you think Jamaica celebrate Trinidad, so they lie.
Nah.
Yeah, of course not.
But Curacao basically had the same results as us because they draw against us twice. But the only difference is they beat Jamaica.
Yeah.
And that was the downfall.
Fine margins, huh? Anyway, fellas, you know, let me shift a little bit, right? Today is the day after, you know, and I think, I don't know if already heavy disappointment way off, but for me, yeah, water, I over that, right?
You're so accustomed by now.
Exactly. But I
think that loss is a new low, boy. That's the first time in Old Trafford. First time in Old Trafford, we lost our team with 10 men. That history. That's a new all-time low.
Bro, we've been shits. You that bothering you so much? Done.
Forget results, we lost, but you see playing 10 men and losing and playing more than 80 minutes, that hurt me, boy. That hurt me.
But I think that one of the reasons why we do it today and not yesterday, right? Because I think we might have get cancelled if we come on here yesterday, right?
Yeah.
You know, because when they check it, right, before kickoff, right, our win was going to take us into top 4, you know?
Yeah.
And we was home at Old Trafford to Everton, you know? Men they done back on that sheet when they check the next 10 games and say Everton at Old Trafford. Yeah, man, we winning that, you know?
Damn. When I see Everton, I say, boy, Smeagol is never to beat we, boy. We gonna deal with the old boy. It has certain men that coach Manchester since 30 that I detest. You see Smeagol? You see David Moyes? That I cannot stand the best bone in that man, boy. If you know I can't stand here. So I don't say this man don't win here at all. We're gonna beat him, boy.
Yeah, he never win at Old Trafford.
Never. We are Amarim to thank for that, right?
Yeah.
You know? But here what does get me, right? Imagine we didn't play Saturday. We didn't play Sunday. Now we know that, you know, players would have been on international duty. So during that time, you know, the manager could only work with the players that stay back. So compared to every other team in the league, Amarim would have had, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And guess what happened Monday? We play like them fellas meet. Everybody fly in from the country and meet at Old Trafford and went on the field. You understand?
No, but that's what I said. Liverpool lost, Tottenham lost, Man City lost. You supposed to be gearing up to go and hit the Everton side.
Exactly. We had to take advantage because earlier after this 1-0 loss, if we won, we could have been fourth, and now we're sitting in 10th, right? We're sitting 10th, and who next to me? Liverpool and Everton, right? A very poor performance all around. I don't think it have any player that could have leave that game holding their head high, you know. And it's unfortunate that a year in, and we still having these kind of conversations, you know. A year into, and I think yesterday was Amram's year,
1 year.
Yeah.
1 year.
But
right?
a year since we did play Ipswich and couldn't beat Ipswich.
Yeah, and we find ourselves at Old Trafford and we can't beat Everton. Now, mind you, we can't take nothing away from Everton. Everton have a decent team, but at the same time, when you have the 12th man, you know, you're supposed to perform a lot better than we saw yesterday.
But
Now, fellas, how Olga got assess Ruben Amorim after a year as Manchester United manager, right? Because we're talking about 34 points. I hope I had the stats here. We're talking about 34 points from a possible 102 points.
Jesus,
18 losses in 39 games, and that's 12 wins, 9 draws.
And he still have our.
Yeah, any other manager would survive at a club with that kind of record. Simeon, I want to get you in first, and then we go move around. You know how you assess, Amorim tenure after a year?
I mean, I feel like we're building a house on some sand, and the sand just shifting. I feel like I look at this team looking for some kind of progression, some kind of idea of how we're gonna move, get ahead. I mean, I thought we suffered enough last season, but we suffered ain't none. When you look at the things that the coach would do to improve a team, you look at the signings, the changes, and of players, but every move we've made is just more questions. I mean, we ain't. My biggest issue with Amarim is he talking about I put the players on the field to do something and they ain't doing it. He's he's like, how do I get my players to play against 10 men? And I'm like, you the coach. Y'all been training. Or y'all supposed to be training. Like, what y'all doing? You keep saying like my players in. I'm like, what you coaching them to do? You know these you know these players. It's like coaches come here and they act like these players, they act surprised when players do the same shit they do for the last coach. It's like these are the same players you had. They couldn't do XYZ for the last coach. You figure without you coaching them, they go know for themselves. Like I feel like what right now is what's the point of you being here if you can get these players to do better? Especially like you said, we have more time on the training field. Got a whole week to train for stuff, and we ain't seen any real kind of improvement. And you talking about the players should know better. What y'all training? What y'all doing training? Why you can't coach? Why we can't get a coach to make sure our players do the right thing? I know they're professionals, but they've been. I mean, I just don't see improvement or enough improvement. I don't see enough things or any indication that he could fix it, that he could get these players. Because if you don't know why your team ain't playing well, and you're saying they should be doing XYZ, like what's next step? Like you just gonna hope next time they know how to play. I mean, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing in coaching. I don't know what the board doing in signing players. that ain't good enough or weren't good enough for the system. We buy players that we I feel like we in another cycle of a failure. I feel like we have no direction. Like we're just gonna be going through another cycle of 4 years of just trash.
Yeah. Kristen, what about you? And I wanted to throw in this one here, right? Because some of the quotes, and Simeon, you could always tap back on them as well. And well, Chef, whenever he come back in, right? Some of the quotes after the game was concerning. I don't know if you all heard the quotes, but those quotes were very, very concerning. And it's another reason why I factor it to now, because we're talking about your 1 year anniversary. And this is what he had to say. I feel afraid of returning to this feeling of last season. That is my biggest fear. We need to work together and we need to be better. Right?
What y'all be doing for a year? What y'all be doing?
Yeah, and then Simeon, he went on to say, we are not there, not even close to where we need to be to fight for top places in this league. So it's almost as though the reason why we're not in fourth, one win that could have taken us to the fourth, is why we're not close. So it's like he's trying to temper expectations. Is it that's what he's trying to do? I don't know what Amram or Kristen. I don't know what's going on.
Wait, it's on the coach, right? But
yeah, the coach, we're talking about Amram over the last year. We're looking at his record and well the quotes as well you have for reference.
No, but when you look at the record, he is horrible, right? He is the worst manager at United. He win rate is like 30%. I think only above his Ralph. Even more is better than him, right? So it's horrible. But at the end of the day, they bring in a manager, right? It was after Tanaga sacked. You bring in a manager who play in a totally different formation, different football, and the manager you was replacing. And then he didn't really sign the players he need for his formation. So I really don't know what really taking place. Because say they sack him now, right? Who are they going to bring? And what kind of football I want to play?
Kristen, I don't think that is a good argument to keep a manager.
No, I'm not saying keep him, but I'm just saying because we know last season the most important players in this formation is your wing backs, right? You have a good midfield as well. And they didn't really sign anybody. They signed players who were scoring some of the top scorers in the league because they say, okay, so the problem last season was goals. So they signed goal scorers. But at the end of the day, we have fullbacks playing wing back position. And you can see how that does make the team worse. And not that I defended Amaram, I just saying that they set up the man to fail. As in, you tell him he had to come, else he not get any job. And he do come in a situation where he can't really help himself. So I'm not saying he can't get stuck. I'm just saying he gets set up.
Chef, let me ask you, and just based on some of the comments Kristen would have made, we want to be fair across the board, right? But do you think that that's a good enough excuse for the team to be performing as poorly as it performing after a year?
Bro, if Amarin do finish in top half of this season, Amarin had to get fired.
Yeah, correct. I agree with that. No, I agree with that.
But they're giving him so much time.
You can't fire him now. Because you give him a little bit of tools to see what basically the ball between a rock and a hard place, Them bring him there, and now giving him some kind of, and they insist on the back of him, You really feel them going to fire him? They wouldn't fire him. Unless things go from worse to worse, them are going on fire.
Well, when Ahmad leave, it might go for the WhatsApp chef. When them fellas leave from Africa, they will get WhatsApp.
No, because again, I don't know if you heard the comments I read before, but I find the comments from the manager, it's a little bit concerning for me, right? Look at this one here. He's saying Everton will bet the better team with 11 players or 10. So when it was 11v11, Everton were the better team. When they went down to 10, they were playing like they had 13 players on the field, and we had 10.
And use the manager.
You understand what I'm saying? He's saying here
and
today.
Use the manager.
He's saying today, yesterday, was not a mistake of an individual. It was the team. Old Trafford was there saying, we are here to give you a big step up.
Bro.
But I don't find the team didn't start well. I guess everybody say we're going to beat Everton, but when that game started off, right? I was thinking we could lose this game.
We look shaky from there's not a Manchester United fan alive didn't know that goal was coming, We look shaky from minute one.
That's what I said. And when Everton went a man down, I get some kind of relief. I was like, all right, we got easy win here now. Everton but that's why, because when the game starts,
Manchester United the whole season.
Nah,
the teams I watch, we play against teams with 10 men and look worse. So I was more concerned when they went down to 10. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Now I know the Chelsea.
None.
The Chelsea game when we scored 2 goals and Casemiro bring it back over. As I said, we was horrible, and I was just thinking in my head, Everton make themselves. They make the game easier for us with less players, because playing with 10 men obviously harder to play than playing with 11. And then you still see how horrible we were. So I was like shocked.
Kristen, let me give you some advice. How old is brother?
28.
28? You're close
28,
to
28.
28? Oh, well,
Yeah.
all right. Let me give you some advice. You see that way you're talking there? The old people have a say, don't use light to see it dark. Pal, when you're thinking like that, you'll get horny. So man, open up your eyes a little more. There's absolutely, and I say all that to say there was absolutely no way when Everton went down to 10 men, I had any little bit of mess say, oh God, the game get easier. Simeon, you had any thoughts like that?
I text Kareem, I say, how are you going to mess it up? I text Kareem, I say, how are you going to mess it up?
Exactly, how are you going to mess it up?
I tell him, and lo and behold, 10 minutes, 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, bam, I'm like, there we go.
Yeah,
click,
because we know it was coming. We know it was coming. I have reached a stage now, brother. I don't know about other men, but I have absolutely no faith in this team. Like none at all. I just watch the team because that is my club, that is my team. But there's absolutely nothing this club has done, this team has done in years for me to say, oh gosh, yes, we win in this game. So you see most times at the end of the pod, when they ask us what we think the scoreline will be, boy, I feel you could count on one hand. I've been doing this with you almost 2 seasons now. You can count on one hand how much time I ever say we win in a game. Me and this team, boy, Manchester United fans, we have something I name the Red Woman Syndrome. And Manchester United not gonna make no, bro. I have no faith in the team. I expected it. Real talk.
And the thing about Everton is, and I said it last part, like, what I like about, I don't say I like about it. They're a simple team. They ain't too fancy. they're simple, tough teams, and them kind of teams that give us trouble. I mean, you watch the movement of the ball. Oh, you open, bam, hit the ball. Oh, you open, bam, hit the ball. Oh, on the wing, I could cross, let me cross it. And simple teams like that give us
Yeah.
and the tough teams give us so much trouble. And I look at the goal they score, and the one
Yeah.
thing, the midfielder we had there trying, the man used a word called, the man said the man was nibbling at the man's feet. And that's like, who was that defender there? And of course, it was the one person we always talk about who not supposed to be there trying to tackle. I know we got to talk about Euro, could have done better, but I'm sure Euro expected Bruno to follow the run to the left side. Like, you figure, okay, well,
Yeah.
Bruno go cover that side, so ain't gonna be no. And like, it's frustrating when you have the same issue game after game, and nothing is addressed, and nobody say, oh, we maybe the mistake having a player who's not really a midfielder there, and nobody addresses it. Nobody, and then I just feel like we look for that. It's kind of like we look for that.
We did.
And we keep on looking for it. We ain't gonna change it. Ain't no. I ain't hear nothing in the press conference. As to, oh, maybe we should address this situation. No, we gonna keep on doing it. So I just
No, honestly, that goal. This man, who scored by
Shrewsbury Hall.
Hall, yeah, Dewsbury Hall. This man, when he pick up that ball and he look up, he didn't have a player inside to pass that ball to. He inside out Bruno and Euro, right? And then he gave up that shot, and that keeper could have saved that shot too.
What?
Lamens could have saved that. He get fingertips at it, but Lamens going with his right hand, right? When he could have go to left hand.
Look, you understand how hard that ball hit with a stroke?
I think Lamens could have saved that. It wasn't any corner or anything. It was close to him. You look at the saves Pickford made, and
I agree with Christian on that one, Chef. I think Lamens can do better than that.
yeah, it wasn't in the corner, no, Chef. It was close to him, but as I say, he could have go with the left hand. He go with the right hand.
I can't remember which hand he went with, but I think he could have done better. But it was a beauty of a goal, And
No, it was.
I would be wicked to put that on Lamens after we allow Dewsbury Hall to wall team.
That man
That's what I think.
time.
He picked up the ball, he did not play inside, and he just wall transfer.
It goes back to Simeon's point about Everton as a team. Bro, Everton has always been a grinding team, made up of a couple of individuals with talent. But generally, Everton has been a grinding team. Everton have three, I would say, special players. Dewsbury Hall, Grealish, and pronounce it
And
Ndiaye. That's the three players. Everybody else is grinders.
But you always going to pick five and Pickford is a good player.
No, outfield.
Outfield. I don't even let me start on Pickford. But anyhow, yeah, outfield. That's the three players, bro. And we look, and just as Simeon say, all you're watching tapes, all you're in the league, and that's the man all they look to basically say, ole, that madness, boy. I just don't get it.
I remember when he transferred with Noah's open, me and Rumi was talking to when Chelsea was getting rid of Hall. Now we was saying he's a good player to go after.
It's a nice player. It's a nice.
Yep. Who is Leicester he was playing for before Chelsea and
Leicester.
Chelsea again waste that man, and the man playing up to his potential. I'll tell you something. I have a issue, with how we just allow teams to grow into games. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm having a hard time understanding why our group so inconsistent. How it is. Now I know we don't have the answers here, so we could only talk, right?
Right.
But how it is, a professional football team filled with millionaires who train in on a daily basis could come in today and
Like they forget everything.
and not play well.
I
And then
don't get
next
it.
week, and they're not play well, and everybody is shit. And then next week,
They will just drop a performance.
all the best players in the world, Bruno this, Ballon d'Or that one. And then the game after, who is these fellas? What? Help me understand, because I don't understand. I don't know how 1 year in, right? We give the manager say he wanted more time. We gave him more time. The manager said he wanted a preseason. He got a preseason. We gave the man two of the best goal scorers in the Premier League, and we give him one of the best upcoming strikers. And we still find ourselves where we goal difference is 0. We score 19 goals and concede 19 goals. We playing at the next level. We playing 3 players at the back. And we conceding just as much as we scoring.
We playing 1 game a week.
Yeah, that even make it even worse. But one thing I gotta say, this problem been happening before Amarim. That thing where you don't know what you're going to expect from Manchester United. Because I remember Ole, we used to call him the second half manager, because we used to be real. Like, you don't know how these men play in first half, so, and second half, he gonna make changes and we end on go on to win the game and think. Like, we've been starting games from since Ole days. I can't remember for Jose, but from since Ole days, we've been starting games real horrible. And I don't know how, like,
But
why is that?
Kristen, the issue is, we keep blaming the system, but like we brought a manager in that we hardly even saw a bounce. And the team is getting worse. I mean, we didn't lose for 5 games, and we celebrate that. But when you watch the where we headed, we getting worse.
Yeah.
We getting worse. It's hard to say those words, but we getting how is this
Dan,
possible? And I'm
Or you,
really just
or you watch how slow that football was. Dan, poor Dogu. The crowd started to boo us, because every time you get the ball, he back pass.
Nah, don't do that. Poor
Go do what?
Dogu. Poor Dogu.
Dogu was horrible.
You didn't hear the rest of what I just said, or what?
Go ahead.
I said, poor Dogu. Every time he back passed that ball, the booyahs, because he deserved it.
Okay.
Dog, what you back passing ball for?
Okay.
Every time you get a ball with acres in front of you, your back pass. Like you have absolute. But Dad, I watch our same man play for the national team, and he's not doing that.
I tell Reem that same thing against Scotland. He man finished and he had a chance to kick it over the bar.
Dog, that man get that chance, but dog, we get today though. Of course. And I saying to myself, all we asking you, because as Reem said, dog, this is millionaires. Of course, he had so much time to take that ball and deposit it. Xerxes, boy, I don't want to jam Xerxes too much because that boy has been out of playing for so long. But then Xerxes and all gets a chance where he just had the ball. When he had time was to chest the ball and put it in the net.
They were putting a real good cross there. And he had it straight at Pickford.
Let me just get some comments real quick, fellas.
Yeah.
All right. Eric, I'll be going back to the initial, the first conversation. So you said 18 Curacao players were born in the Netherlands, and I think Chef, you had said that, right?
Yeah.
He also saying here, I am still in pain. I felt worse than Grimsby. One step forward, five steps backward. All right, and Chelsea men on a high after the performance today, right? Um, Eric saying here, three centre backs against 10-man Everton made no sense. Amrim can't adapt to save his life, boy.
Yeah.
We were so bad yesterday. We look worse than the Brentford Christmas tree. Oh my lord. Richard on the inside, thanks for joining, buddy. He said our players are to be held accountable for that performance because we're supposed to capitalize on that 5 consecutive wins and use that momentum. And to me, our midfield non-existent. I will come back to this, right? So let me leave these. I will come back to that. He also said here, I don't know why we had a goal down or a team equalized for us to start playing football. All right, without Cunha, we are nothing. And then when Cunha play and somebody else not there, we'll say without them, we're nothing. That is just how is the next one like that? When Dalo play, we want Dogu. When Dogu play, you know.
Dog, two of them, there were two players that make you miss each other. And when Dogu play, you're missing Dalo.
And when Dalo come on, you vex Dogu come off, but then
Yeah.
you forget Dogu was playing 2-2. Let me talk about the team sheet now, guys. Because we knew coming into this game that we would have been without Sesko who injured. It was only until last minute that we realized that Cunha wasn't there because of some little injury he had. But at the end of the day, we had to put our team, and we had a team on the pitch. What were your thoughts on the team selection? Did the manager play too safe? Kristen, go through.
Well, with Cunha out, I think the starting 11 kind of pick itself because if Cunha was there, I don't think Xerxes might have started. Or I think Mount should have started. I think Mount he played well. And I honestly think from the time we went they went 10 men down, we supposed to bring on not play 3 at the back, change our formation, we supposed to bring on more attacking players. Casemiro supposed to come off. I mean he did come off, but I think we didn't approach that game correctly. After that Everton went 10 men down. Because Shaw was staying back for I don't know what reason. Like Shaw was pissing me off that whole game. I don't know, like 1 or 2 times he went on the line and he crossed, but whole game he was holding back for what?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Simeon, specifically on the team sheets.
I didn't think about this much yesterday, but I mean the fact that Sesko was going to be out, so we figured Cunha might play up front. Then he wasn't there, so we had 2 players out. There's one player who he keeps saying that been practicing well and is doing well, in training. You figure he would have that player get a start, right? I'm talking about Kobe Menu.
Yeah.
If we're doing so well in training, put Bruno up in 10, put Xerxes up where because the only backup striker we have. Why you can't move Bruno? Why Bruno can't move from there? We know Bruno be doing all kind of mess on that side. Why you can't move Bruno off of that position? But if Menu is doing so well as you see he is in practice, that is one. Who else? Dogu. Okay, next side. Majwari. I know. I don't think he's a good player, but I don't think he's played well this season. So I would have put instead of having Ahmad up there, I will put Ahmad on that side. That way you have more attacking and another more threatening player on that side, something for them to worry about. And I have Majwari could be on the bench because Majwari hasn't played well. He hasn't earned his starting spot.
He can catch himself at all this season.
Yeah, let the man come on and do a sub on until he start playing well. That just seems like common sense. Who else? Bumo isn't Bumo. Casemiro, he will start because who else is gonna play there? I feel like Moses, this team cannot pick itself. Besides a few, who I miss. Centre backs, Delit had some good games. You can't move him too much. Shaw, we go see. I mean, between Martinez and Heaven, I can't see Shaw playing all these games, back to back.
If I'm honest with you, Simeon, if I'm honest with you, right, and all I know is I'm not sure, I'm not even sure smallest fan, right? But I willing to see Shaw play wing back just so that I don't see Dalo or Doku,
Yeah.
I am telling you, I willing to see that just because I do not want to see Dogu and Dalo again.
When
Martinez come back. Yeah, when Martinez come back.
I have no arguments with that.
Go through Chef.
And all you know me, I'm sure.
But that's why I was saying I was vexed the man because Dogo were putting in a cross could cross the ball. Why he wasn't going up and putting in cross? He was getting frustrated with the sitting back.
Why we get Dogu? Why? Go ahead, but that's my question. Go ahead, Kristen.
For me, right? Let me just answer that question for you, Simeon. For me, I don't have a problem with signing Dogu, But you take a youth man out of a team like Lecce in the Serie A where there's no, when I say real expectation. You play good, you play mess, nobody care. You are allowed to develop and make mistakes and improve, right? You take him, you bring him into this functional team, and you tell him he had to start every game.
Not only that, and you bring him into a position that is so important to the whole running of your formation.
Correct. That level of pressure, unreal. That is ridiculous. If your cousin, who you like so much, Mr. Dalu, right, can't play the position good with all our experience, you want Dogu to come in and play that position good? So I don't have a problem with bringing Dogu and have him, understudy to a better player. I will be cool with that. But you're bringing that man and that man is your first choice. Problems. That's chaos. Chef, thoughts on this starting lineup?
All right, let me move on to the next question.
Let me make my comment on it then, right? I have to agree, with I find Amram just going to games overthinking it, and this is not the first time I say it.
Boy.
Like we see it have like when you establish a certain partnership, why you always tampering with it?
Why you have to tinker?
Amar and Mbumo already solidify and they don't take that right side already. And you know what has upset me? In the game, he just always revert to that. When it's too late and then fellas can't play with a level of comfort and freedom. You understand? Because against Spurs, you change it when we was under pressure, and you come back and do the same thing again against Everton. Start the game and let us put Everton on the back foot. Everton didn't really come there to play no sort of football, You understand?
No,
but let me just make the point.
Yeah.
When Everton scored a goal, and I don't know if anybody saw what David Moyes said after the send-off Gay. He said 4-4-1, 2 banks of 4. Them not breaking we down. Them cannot break down a low block.
Yep.
That we was telling
he was signaling to them.
Yeah, he was telling where's the striker name number 11, whatever his name is. That we was telling them. So what I'm saying is Amarim has to be a lot more adaptable and a little more creative in his team selections and stop being so safe and like for like when you're changing players, right? I was good with Ahmad and Mbumo. I would have also, as Simeon say, considered Kobe and Casemiro in the midfield and Prabhu in the 10. I would have done that.
Yep.
You understand? I would have done that. I mean, Christian, I would have also even considered Mount because look, he had to revert it again. So it's like what you could do, why it is just second thinking, and then you have to come back and do it the same way. And that's the problem I be having with Amarim because he overthinking it and then he reverted every single game.
But when we talking during and after the game, what has been my comment every time? This man he like to buy his trouble.
Yeah, all
He
the
like to
time,
buy trouble.
all the time, all the time.
No, but
Like,
here it is, right? This is hindsight, right? But what if he was thinking, right? Ahmad and Mbemo leaving, right? To go African. You need somebody to play the right wing back. So where Konya wasn't playing, I'm gonna play Ahmad on the left wing and play them fellas who had to play the right and see how they're playing. And he realized well the game had to win now and he had to revert back to playing Ahmad there.
that's not the
Could
reason.
that be
That's not the reason, Christian.
That's
Save
not
me,
the
man.
no,
That's
that's
not the
it, that's
reason.
it.
Because if that was his
No.
if that was his way of thinking, then the likes of Kobe and Xerxes
Yep.
would have been getting minutes.
That's
long
right. Them would
before.
have been starting as tens.
He'd have be preparing them for
That's
the
right.
eventual departure of them
And
players and for the eventual possibility of any injuries, which we now find ourselves in with Sesko.
yeah.
But he wasn't doing
And
that.
we watching football long enough to know what all teams just do when they have players going to AFCON. You know, if they had to go AFCON in the next 2 weeks, they're going to play every single game, every single minute, especially when it's your better players. That's not the reason. I understand you're trying to understand madness with logic, but no.
Yeah,
That's it. That's probably what he was thinking because when we talk, I asked Reem, he predicted lineup, right? And Reem tell me that's what he going to do. And I was like, bro, Ahmad had to start in that right wing back. And the man really go on with Reem say.
Everybody and the mother know the one shining light that has come through this season is, besides laments, is the fact that there's a right-sided partnership.
correct.
Nothing else.
Correct.
But like, if we're gonna, I didn't watch the whole game. I kind of yeah. Like, what I see of Masrari is he's not the guy to run the byline and play a crossing.
No.
Am I wrong?
No.
Mazwari played real good last season as the right centre back. Remember?
Yeah.
And Doro was on
That
the
was
left
his-
side. That's
that
where
was his
everybody was
best.
talking about Mazwari. Hey, this right centre back position.
That was his best setup football.
But like, Karim was talking about, you do have the players in the wing that with their favorite foot to play across it first time. And it's like, if you're gonna put somebody in that spot, have someone, swing the ball in, this on the right first time, let's swing the ball in. And I feel like, we have limited players on the wing in a spot where you need, I look at some of these teams, I look at the Frimpong. Is Frimpong from Liverpool? Liverpool
Yeah.
before?
Yeah.
I would have loved to have, that's the kind of players we need. I know he's injured and stuff now, but that's the kind of dynamic players you need if you want to run I look at, what's the guy's name from the US? Where?
Yeah.
He would be a nice profile player to play that. And then I look at what we have. I'm like, we don't have that kind of intellect, that kind of skill, that kind of,
At all.
And Dogu has the ability, but he don't have this. It annoys me, to heck.
Take it, that and you don't have the confidence.
Right. As we move on, right? I want to talk about Xerxes. Did you all think Xerxes took his chance today?
No.
I mean,
Go ahead.
Zirks wasn't bad, but
Yeah.
you see the thing about it, bro? Coming here and saying over and over and over, well, you know what? He wasn't bad, you know. Bro, things really at an all-time low. If our gauge for players is, well, he wasn't bad. But again, what I would say, because I said it earlier, when it comes to Xerxes has been out of that team so long. And for God alone knows what reason, that you finally give him a start. And it's your Germany Revan is sink or swim. Fortunately, he barely paddled above water.
But Xerxes' main problem is he's not a finisher. You know. If he was a finisher, he'd be so much better.
Agreed.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that's another issue we have with him is, since last year we've seen this, and we haven't seen, you know, I mean that improvement. I think it might be like you said, a confidence thing, or just whatever it is, he just doesn't have it yet, or he just doesn't have that. The man could put passes together, like no other. He carry ball.
Nice link up play.
Yeah, he sees plays and stuff, but it's just the microscope when that ball go into the box and you there and you can't finish it. That's just you don't have you don't have time. You don't have the kind of grace to grow into that kind of thing. We need that ball in the back of the net. Yesterday.
Yeah.
So
my thing on it is this, and I want to put aside the fact that he's one of the players that I kind of feel for in the team, right? You can't have a player, out of the team, and then bring him in and expect, a top performance. Like that is not how it is worked, right? That is not reality. Players just take some time to get into that level of, that sharpness, that confidence. That readiness.
Matchness.
Yeah, a player need that, and unfortunately for some players, they don't have that luxury. So that's the unfortunate thing for Xerxes. He had to come in with one chance and sink or swim. And if you sink, you're back on the bench until you get your next chance. And that's just how it is. But Xerxes is the type of player
to start next game.
Yeah. So because Xerxes is the kind of player, we only started to see the qualities in Xerxes when he was given a run of games. Because I remember I wanted he gone in the early, I wanted he out.
Yeah.
There's only when the man started to play and he sensed the confidence of the manager and he was getting regular minutes is when we actually started to say, wait now, we just like to play.
No, but Xerxes looked good when he played in number 10, not when he played the striker.
I comment to that, Kristen. That's a good point. Because I'll tell you something, people saying, it have a lot of people on the social saying that Xerxes was poor yesterday, and we have, Riyad on the comment section as well. Thanks for joining me, saying Xerxes was abominable. But let me also remember that Xerxes created one big chance that Dogu threw away, and he forced Pickford into 2 saves, right? So I mean, I think we so expecting him to come in and like blow the world away that we forget these fellas as humans, right? Now, every striker, because I can remember the 2 games before, people were coming on Sesko. Like we just forget. We just forget how hard it is to play in that number 9 role for Man United. When
graveyard.
Yeah, it's a graveyard shift. Them fellas and them they are not involved in the game. And they are just required to stand up in the box and wait for the ball to reach. And the ball don't ever reach. Because the quality of the crosses, it don't even beat the first man. It's like they're not beating the first man, it's going over the head to the corner flag. And these are the kinds of service and the what strikers at Manchester United have to be dealing with. So when you get your one chance, you scoffing at that one chance. That chance where Sesko had gotten against Spurs, that Van de Ven. All right, of course he should have done better, but he did now come on, right? He now come on, and he running up and down, and he ain't getting nothing. And the first chance he gets, he scoff at it. You telling me a player that gained and there's always say, look, even Haaland. Haaland just missed 2 or 3 chances before he scored
Yeah.
one. But we giving our
But-
strikers 1 chance per
But you know
game
what?
and expect them to
Sure,
bang.
if he miss one, he can get about 10 more chances.
Well, this is it. So our strikers, they suffer and they just look as though they're not doing nothing. And for large parts, I watched yesterday, large parts of that second half, Zirks will just stand up in the box and people go watch and ball. What he do? We play with 10 men. But the team does not play for number 9. And I saying this since back in the day with Martial. And nobody used to listen to me.
But Reem, this is how I see we should play right now, right? With Sesko out, instead of he shoehorning Bruno in that midfield. If he play Bruno as that false nine, Bruno is a very good finisher, right? Bruno could knock that ball. Bruno is better closer to the goal. And you have Cunha and Mbemo to the side of him, and you start Casemiro and Kobe in that midfield, we will look so much better.
The thing about it, I think from what I saw, I think Zirkzee could do it because Zirkzee is dropped deep and get involved, and you can have Cunha and then Mbemo running off him. But you just watch the team and you do not know what the team doing, what is the plan. And then after a while, you just see him say, Zirkzee, stay in the box. And I set a ball going in the box, and I set a ball launching in the box. And it happened with Sesko too. So,
no, but why I saying play Bruno in that false nine? When you watch a Manchester United play, Bruno will be running and pressuring quite by the keeper, right? And then he'll leave in Casemiro in that midfield by himself. So it's better you play Bruno in that false nine and let him do that pressuring up there.
Or perhaps tell Bruno it's either you do what you're supposed to do, you're not playing. How
about that? How about you play your position properly?
But that's what I say with Sesko out right now. I'd play him as the false nine.
No, according to Bruno, he played the best. He's the best. He doing his job properly, right? He run up and down. He could get forward and get back, no problem. No problem. He just nibble at some feet. A goal score. So what? He doing his job. Everybody else, let him go score.
And we're talking about Bruno finishing and all yesterday. Jesus.
I don't know what was going on in them fellas' head. The amount of misplaced passes, underhead passes, overhead passes, poor decisions. It was crazy yesterday.
Hey, what them fellas could aim throw any ball if they fall throw 2 times enough.
Imagine men fall throwing big men.
I was so pissed by we have possession and you can't throw in a ball, you giving over possession to Everton. I was like real frustrated watching that game.
I nearly slapped down a referee what it is in Fet match for calling a foul throw on me. But no, I tell him, man, not. I said, bro, this is Fet match. Why are you calling foul through? You feel it's the promo.
Let me just get some comments quick here, fellas. So, Curtin on the inside. Good night, man. Thanks for joining. Say he late. Right on the inside. He's saying anyone who's surprised has to be delusional. I think he's surprised with the result, right? He's saying this guy is calling an American player for real. Night. That's some good Americans, Riyadh. Relax.
Bro, that name he just called there is going to be a very big player.
And I want Anthony Robinson too, the left back.
Robinson.
Right where? And we have for Marseille, right? Marseille, right? With Greenwood. Yeah, with Green. Yeah.
And he's to play for Juve. All right.
You see somebody ball that he can be given Mason?
Yeah. He said here, Dogu only has strength and speed. That's about it. Yeah, he's an athlete. Right, but he had to work on that final decisions and that final ball by
just a little composure, Dread. Because
I want
that man does the ball does follow. It does follow,
Yeah, boy, he always getting all them balls. You see the strength of his system as the winger, so that's why Dogu and Ahmad and whoever playing the wing back positions will see the most of the ball.
No, right? But if we got a wing back like this fella from Inter Milan, the Marco, a man who always there collecting about to pin across to take a shot and score, we'll be so deadly because a man and Mbembe on one side and you have Cunha with a man like the Marco on the left side will be killer.
Yeah. The last 5 games were all flukes, right? Gunnar G and the Insight, thanks for joining. He's saying big up the panel. Man, them United are done out here.
There's a guy I just follow on TikTok. I show some of you. He's a Manchester fan, but he does talk on football. A black guy, English fella. And he made such a good point there. He said, what we need to understand is this Amarin way of playing. You're going to win a couple of games, but you're going to draw plenty and lose a lot because of the way the game it's made up of.
I wonder if they call Tekams you're talking about there. It's not called Tekams? And
Negro fella, and he does have the jerseys right behind him when he talking.
You know who's that by? I think I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
But he have a real nice football in mind.
Yeah. I think I know who you're talking about. I think I know who you're talking about, Jeff.
Yeah.
Right, so here, Ten Hag purchased a self-admitted 9.5. Zirkzee himself said he isn't a striker, and we saw it last season. Right, 1 mischance and 2 saves can never be enough against 10-man Everton. Right, and we agree, but you can't put us on one player, right?
Nope.
Who you put in our box and they say, well, you just wait for people to get the ball, right?
Yep.
Here, who named this man calling? Context, Riyadh. Context, right?
What is it? What is that?
Yeah. Ryan on the Inside, thanks for joining. He said, big up guys. This team has carried too many average players and the so-called lifelong United fans. Jim, the rats sitting in the bed with the Glazers and doing nothing. We are not serious. We are not a serious club anymore. Sad. All right. Riyadh saying, I culture comes. No, it's not culture comes. It's our next one. I can't remember my name. But it's not culture comes. You're talking about.
I will get his name by the next podcast.
It's not Aaron by Aaron. Aaron. It's not Aaron. I think it's Aaron you're talking about. You know? Yeah. So, fellas, I'm not going to ask for you nothing to do with the next game.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask for you nothing in terms of prediction, nothing in terms of, starting 11 and thing. The most we can do is hope that them fellas this week do some introspection and
yeah.
Who we playing Palace? That was 3-4-3 playing 3-4-3.
Mateta was got a hat trick in that game.
And no, yeah, and it was the beauty of that, Christian. We're gonna look at the 2 interpretations
Correct.
of the 3-4-3.
And how different it is look.
Yeah. And how Amorim gonna play Mazwari because he's afraid and whatever, right?
No, but one thing I have to say though, as bad as Amorim is, that performance yesterday, you can never tell me formation and manager is the reason a team playing with a man more and cannot score a goal or look as horrible as they look. Them as professional footballers, them just have more energy. Everton look like they was fitter than us and everything. I don't understand how we were so poor.
Nah, you can always play the coach. Nah. We could That's Amarin players. That's his team. He put Bruno in that spot to be the man to be there to try and make a tackle. That's
Yeah, but even if the coach put you to play a certain way, if you play with 10 men, you know the ball, we gonna have most of the ball, you gonna stand up in the back and just keep our formation. No, you're not supposed to do them thing. That's what I say. You're a professional footballer. You
But
go up and take.
if that's the manager's directives.
No,
What
but
Chef
you're a
say?
big player at the end of the day.
Brother man,
Nah,
that's not how it does work. That's
But
not how it does work.
In your job, if you do something stupid, and the customer say, hey, my order or something, this project is messed up. Who is it? I mean, at the end of the day, it comes back to you, the manager. Like you hire this man, you train him, you supposed to train him and make sure you're doing the right thing. Why is he out there? As a manager, that's your job to make sure people out there representing you could do the job. And if they can't, it's your fault. So when I hear Amarim talking about, I don't know why these men can't play again, why they don't know what to do XYZ against 10 men. Well, you aren't trained that. You only have these scenarios in practice. What y'all doing? And that's why I say with
Christian basically talking about men taking the initiative. But
okay, if everyone the game, right? Shaw went up 2 times and he looked good, right? So why he was holding back? Even Dillit is one of the better players in the air when you look at the team. Only Xerxes, because he don't take off Casemiro, right? And the 2 times Dillit actually went up, he scuffed a shot, and then the next one he actually chest down and volley and they call handball and thing, but he actually win header and thing that way. So why didn't, if Shaw wasn't one of that, Shaw sit back and let Dillit go in the box?
So Christian, let me tell you why I observe, right? It comes down to the manager's decision because it's only when Amorim tell Dillit to go that's when he goes up.
That's right.
For instance, it had a set piece late in extra time. Well, not late in extra time, but when extra time started, at the downtime in the second half started, where Lamens wants to go. And Amorim tell him no.
No, he tell him no.
Only the second time, then Amorim tell him to go up. So
and you see what we're there.
Yeah. So you see the when these things happen, these players moving based on instructions from the manager. I'll tell you something again. And this is damning on Amorim. You searching for a goal, right? Yeah. You have Everton sitting in 2 banks of 4, right? And you have 3 defenders. You have Euro, Dillit, and Shaw stand up on the halfway line, passing the ball forward. What kind of mad thing is that?
And your upper man.
Yeah. And you just let me just make this point, Christian, right? One of the thoughts that run through my mind. All right, so Everton have a solid defensive line right now. So one of our biggest threats in the box is Casemiro. All right, so Casemiro got a yellow card. So you don't want him in the middle of the park to go and fall nobody and get sent off. Why not put him in the box and swing balls inside there? Why not make him a presence in the box for us? Why have to take him off the pole and Kobe? Why can't take off a defender, put on Kobe, so Kobe could progress the ball with Bruno, and they put Casemiro in the box? Because Casemiro is just like a glue in that box. He does know how to find spaces to score.
Casemiro is a better offensive player than he's a defensive player.
This is the kind of thing I'm talking about in terms of adaptation, adaptability, and creativity.
But the manager is just not showing us.
He always taking off like for like. Everything is like for like, and you have 3 centre back on the field, and they're the ones holding the ball and trying to put the ball in the box for you. They're the ones trying to be creative.
It is absolutely scary how predictable Manchester United is. From team selection to substitutions.
And let me add a next thing on that, right? After all I tell her just now, here what the manager will say. We can't say it's 4-4-2, but 5 minutes later it's 4-3-3 or 3-4-3. I'm open to everything. People think I'm fixated on one idea, but I simply start from a base. What? So then why whole game we can identify you have 3 defenders in the field?
That statement makes no sense at all.
No, I mean, I'm
no time. They don't have 3 men across the park.
I mean, I see what Christian's saying. Amorim put Dillit up there to make a play. The play was that he made. Let them make it. My issue is how come? And I see this with Maguire. Maguire scored a whole bunch of goals with he had.
No, but that is point I make to Simeon. When Maguire played, he going up in our box. You can't tell Maguire not to go up in the box. He going up in the box.
Maguire does not
No,
go
no,
up
no,
in the
no.
box just
He
so,
is
brother.
told to go in the box,
You doesn't
Christian.
be
Come on,
watching the game over.
man.
He
Come
does
on,
literally be
man.
signaling to him to go up.
Yeah,
Nah, but
Christian.
I
Maguire
see.
can't just go in the box just
Re,
so.
re, regardless,
Bro,
regardless. If that's my point is if you're saving grace in all these games when it gets tight, it's Joe McGuire or Lit up there to score a goal. You ain't you ain't doing enough.
yeah,
That can't be
that's not
the end
managing.
all. Oh, we need a goal, McGuire. Lit.
No, but that is correct, right? But at the end of the day, if you're looking to okay, we play shit football, but let's say if you're playing good football, right, and you're a good team, but you need to score a goal, you would, and at the ending of the game, you would want to put your taller players or your players who good at heading in the box because you're looking to score a goal.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
normal football.
yeah. But that's not what is
I think
happening.
I saw Euro going in the box, but Euro not as good as the rest, so that's why I wasn't understanding.
But Euro wasn't going in the box. Euro for set piece, he was there.
No, it has 1 or 2 points in time he went in the box, but the cross didn't come to him. But as I said,
And in the flow of the game,
Euro was
yeah, in the
always on
flow
top
of
of
the
the
that
game.
box.
was said.
Nah, Euro
When
was
now,
always on top of the box. That's a set piece.
Euro was always on top of the box. Only time
Yeah.
Euro used to go, that's go in that box is for set pieces, meaning free kicks, and not even free kicks, corners.
Yeah.
No, I am telling you, I noticed because it had like 1 or 2 times he take the ball and he ball carry, right? And then he pass it to Bruno, and when Bruno get it, Bruno pass it to Shaw, and he made a run into the box.
Okay.
I,
Okay.
I, I did see that. So, but
That
I
was
was saying,
once.
now he do it, it was more than once, chef. It was more than once.
All right.
But just saying, I would have liked to see Dillet doing that run instead now, boy. So, I don't know.
Let me just get some comments real quick here, guys. Right.
Mhm.
Kurt, he's saying here maybe if Keane was sent off as well, we'd have beaten Everton. Yeah, we want to play against one man, right? And still the might have score. Right? Riyadh saying
Yeah.
here we are going to win one from the next four. All right. Ryan saying here people are saying we need to sign midfielders. Thing is, anyone who's playing alongside Bruno will struggle no matter who we bring in, even
Yeah.
Prime Busquets. Yeah, because Bruno just vacating and
Yeah, he liked the pressure too much.
yeah. Eric saying here two things could be right. The players were diabolical and Amrim is not adaptable.
Yeah.
All right. Javid on the inside, good night, man.
Well said,
Glory, glory,
Eric.
man United. He's saying missed opportunity. Therapy with the daughter. Good night to your daughter, man.
What's
Well
that?
said.
Actually, a man say he wanted Idrissa guy to come back out and slap all Manchester United players in her.
Hey, watch now. I mean, guys, plenty of what we're saying here is what we've been saying for time. You know, and that's what for me that's what is concerning. You know, I'm not seeing the progress, I'm not seeing consistency, you know, with upward movement. And that is a very worrying thing, especially when you have time on the pitch, especially when we spend $200 million to get your attackers. You know, we get two of the best attackers in the league, and you haven't questioned if them fellas good enough. And that is worrying, you know. And Riyadh make a point here that I just want to come back on because I think it's a very it's something that a lot of people overlook. Right? And he was saying something in the line of let's now, let me see if I could find the comment here. He's saying the last 5 games were all flukes. Now I won't go as far as to say flukes, right? But I think the last 2 games against Forest and Spurs, we were very fortunate to come back and
Very,
get a point there. And I
very.
think we almost paper over the crack and we kind of comfort ourselves saying last season we would have lost that game and we get a point, so it's a good thing. Not knowing, not realizing how poorly the team were performing. You know,
Yeah,
so this loss here it shouldn't be a shock if you're really being real. Simeon?
no, that's the point. I mean, yeah, Christian. Like at the end of the game, you down a goal, you throw the 12 players up there. I'll give you that. But I would like to see adjustment by besides that last minute adjust madness that we could do. I like to see something that some change that change the
Yeah.
game as to how it goes to score a goal. I want to see my coach do so. I want to see my coach. I just want to see my coach. I just want to see that. I just want to see. Okay, we're gonna switch. We're gonna bring somebody see more further back to collect the ball. Have and Boomer run off. Have somebody else. Just
some kind of imagination.
Some of the team think. I feel like other coaches relax. When they see us. It's like, stop them. Just something. Just do something. Whew.
Yeah. I mean, guys, I think we at the end of the pod, all right. We back at the point where, as far as I'm concerned, where I have no expectations for the next game. I can't tell you with any kind of confidence. Going into the Everton game.
I don't want to say what I expect.
Going into the Everton game, Kristen messaged me and he say, we had to win this game. And I tell him, I say, I think we could win, but I can't tell you for sure. You just don't know. So chances are we could blow Crystal Palace out. I know the likelihood of that real far-fetched, right? But you just don't know. That's the point I'm making, Can't get too high and well, whatever, right? So, fellas, Chef, Simeon, Kristen, those in the comments, thanks for the likes, thanks for the shares, thanks for the engagement and interaction. We do appreciate it on this day after, the night after that diabolical performance, disappointing. But again, all we back strong. All are we? Where they say, Chef? We Southmen, man, to be back.
Yeah. Built like cement.
Hey, after that game, I messaged him, I telling me watching no more game, because no way you can play a team for 80 minutes. 10 minutes, you can't score a goal by now, boy.
Hey, and whatever possession you have is because they get up. Because when they wanted the ball to show you, they cannot take it and it around. You understand? Anyway, fellas, let me just get this last comment here. Javed saying here, fed up being fooled by coaches who lead us to believe they know this game and the basics cannot be delivered consistently. Good night. Yeah, man.
But to Javed's to just close off, that's the whole thing. Amarin hasn't shown us that at all, if we're being honest.
Nope.
One thing I have to say though, I think how these players are, you see managers who stubborn and have their style of play, and then they can't really, they don't see their way, but you see a Ole who doesn't let anything slip. Like even Van Nistelrooy, the 4 games he played, he win 2 or something, because them men just go with the flow now, boy.
I think you're doing it injustice to say go with the flow, right? I think it's more adapting to your players rather than just going with the flow.
Ten Hag was saying, even Ralph too. Ralph was horrible, and Ralph going
Ralph didn't adapt to his players. Ralph community 4-2-2-2-2 and men
exactly. But I was saying right? Managers who have their stubbornness and anything, they can't really succeed at a club like this because them I want to change. And
bro, no manager who's not open to changes would do good. Give me one manager who is stuck in his ways does do well. None.
Even Fergie adapt and evolve over his tenure.
No manager, no proper manager is successful by that thinking.
Yeah, Fergie used to play 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, 5-4-1.
You watch how Mourinho does coach teams now?
Anyway, fellas, I think we at the end. It was good. Chef, Simeon, Kristen, guys, thanks. Those in the comments again, and as always, we do appreciate it. Don't forget to like and share. Have a good night, everybody. See you all in the next one.
Yes, man.